What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Coding Central, and today we're going to take a look at if-else statement and when statement. Now, Kotlin got rid of the switch statement that we have in Java, C, and many other languages and replaced that with when statement. And you can think of when statement as a switch statement but with superpowers. Alright, so let's actually get started now and look all of these in details. Okay, so let's get started with if statement first of all. And if statement in Kotlin is kind of the same as if statement in Java. So if I have a variable here called x and I set the value to 10, and now I can actually go ahead and check if x is greater than 10, then we can print larger. I can have else if statements here, so else if x equals 10, and of course I can have my else block as well, so I can say print smaller. Alright, so that's your typical if statement over there. And of course, if it is a single line statement, you don't need these curly braces, okay, so that works. Alright, so what's next? Now we can also use if statement to set values conditionally. Now in Java we had a ternary operator, and of course this is a Java class, and yes, you can have both Java and Kotlin files in the same project. It's called interoperability, and I'll talk more about it after we talk about object-oriented programming. But for now, yes, you can have both Java and Kotlin file in the same project. So in Java we have this ternary operator, so I can say int x equals, so let's first create a condition here, so boolean condition, let's say equals true for now, okay. And of course I need a semicolon, and then I can say condition, then 10 else 20, right? Now of course in Java we have this ternary operator with which we can set a value to a variable with some conditions, right? But of course where this fails is I cannot have multiple lines of code, right? So maybe I want to execute something like print something and do something, and of course after that set the value 10, but of course we cannot do that with ternary operator. Kotlin actually got rid of this ternary operator and replaced it with plain if-else statement. So if I have a variable, let's say val x, and which is of type integer, and now I can say if, of course I'll create my condition here, so condition boolean. Of course you don't need to explicitly give the type, but you know I'm giving it. So our condition is true, and now we can do something like if condition, so set it to 10 else 20. So that's your basic ternary operator. That we don't have ternary, so we have our straight out if else, and of course I can get rid of this, and type inference kicks in and gives the type based on the values. All right, and with that I can also even set something like an integer and string, and of course now the type of x is not an integer anymore but to any, and any is the top level class in Kotlin, so every single class you use is inherited from any. Of course we're going to talk more about that in object oriented part for now, but for now, you know, yeah, we'll stick with only integers. But you can do that, you can have different kind of values there. You are not just bound to use only one type of values. All right, so that's kind of your basic ternary operator over there. But like I said, you can even have multiple line statements. So I can have something like, and I want to print hello and do that. Now in this case, if you have a multiple line if-else statement, the last value is basically the return, it will return and be set to our variable. Okay, so now x, if the condition is true, x, the value of x becomes 10. Okay, so now whatever you do here, the last value is always assigned to x. And of course now I can do something like print high. The important thing is to understand that if you have multiple line if statement, the last value is assigned to the variable. Okay, so you can do that, and at the same time you can have return if statement. So I'm just going to create a function here. Now once again, you're not bound to understand the syntax of function right now. I'll be explaining in the next video probably, but I'll be explaining what this function does to you. So this function takes an integer variable called x and return an integer. Okay, and then we can go ahead and check if x is equals 10, return 20, 20, else return 40. We can do that, but again we are repeating this return statement over and over again. So what we can do is we can just take it out of here and place return right here, right? Kotlin allows you to do that. Now it looks much cleaner, and of course I can do it in a much better way. I can just remove this, right? Okay, that's kind of like a single line statement there. It looks way cleaner, and in Kotlin you can actually make it even more cleaner by deleting all this code here and using an equal, right? So that's like a single line function in Kotlin. You can do that. So hello equals if x is 10, 20, else return 40, right? We can do that. Again, we're going to talk more about this in the functional part, but for now you can place return in front of if to make it even simplified. Okay, so that's kind of like everything about if-else statement in Kotlin. Okay, so now let's talk about when statements, and before we do that, let me just show you guys a switch statement in Java. Okay, so we have a switch statement here. So I have my two variables x and y. I'm switching over x here, and if x is 1, I'm saying that okay, print out hello. If x is 2, I have a multi-line code here, and otherwise do the default. So you know how it is, right? Let me just switch to my Kotlin file here, and here let me just create a simple when statement. And like I said before, when statement is kind of like switch statement but with superpowers, and in this video we'll see some of those superpowers, and we'll keep the rest for object-oriented programming, because some of them are actually related to object-oriented programming part. But for now, today we'll cover most of it. Okay, so let me just create a variable here x, and we'll call it 10. The value is 10. And we'll start when statement with, of course, when, and we say we're gonna switch over x here, and now we need to have some conditions, right? So if x is 1, now again notice that we don't need to have those case keyword. We just start with the values we need to match. Okay, so if x is 1, we can have print hello. If x is 2, we can have that multi-line thing here, and I'm just going to use that. So y4, and so here we can say increment y by 1 and print hello 2. Okay, so we can print hello 2, and of course now we don't have any default block here, but we have what you call an else block. That's exactly the same as default block. Okay, and of course we can go ahead and print else / default. That's exactly the same as default. Okay, now you might be thinking, what's so special about when statement, right? It just got rid of this case keyword and that's it. Well, it's not. We have even more things, right? So the one of the main thing that when brought is these statement don't have to be tied up to a single variable, right? So I can just remove x entirely, and I can have if x equals 1 and y equals 2, right? So I can like match these multiple variables together. So I can say if x is 1 to this, if not, if y is 2 to all this, else to this. So I don't have to tie my statement here to a single variable. In this case, for example, I can't just remove it. It will give me an error. Okay, so that's one of the main feature of when statement, that you don't need to tie your when statement to a specific variable. You can have a more generic switch statement. But of course it's not just that. Now like I said, just as you have done with if statement, we can even set conditional variable based on values. So I'll just remove every single thing here, and I can have the value of, I can set the value of x based on a when statement. So I can start by typing when, and here I can do something like, actually I'll set it to 10 for now, and I'll set the value of y like that. Okay, so I'll set when x equals 1, well, you set it to 2, 3, and now notice that the value of y becomes an integer, right? And then I can say else. Of course you can have more checkings over there, so I will do that now, right? Now I can have even more checkings. So say if x is 5, set the value of y to 5. And notice that if I remove else statement, it gives me an error, and of course you know that. Okay, then that's because you have to provide the value for y assignment. Okay, why am I seeing error here? Else 6. Okay, so that's kind of like assigning values based on when statement. It's basically the same concept as we saw with the if statement, but you can do that. And of course we don't even need x over here, we can just have x over here, we can do that. Okay, and the same thing with return. So if I create our same function we had before, so we'll call it hello, and it takes an integer called x, and it returns an integer, and now we can actually switch. So I'll just copy, actually let me just copy that. Okay, I'll just copy, and instead of doing that I can now return it right here. Okay, so return when x is 1, return 3, x is 5, return else, return 6. Okay, this kind of like simplifies it. And of course you can use an equal here, right here, so I don't need the return statement, I can set it equal, and that will work as well. Okay, so you can have that concept there. The type inference can actually kick in here and guess that okay, the return type is actually an integer. Now that's pretty much it, but I actually want to show you the multi-line one as well. It's kind of exactly the same as if statement. So if I have any multiple line statement here, I can do that, and again I can like print hello here, and the value in the last line is always taken upward and either assigned to a variable, which is in this case. So the value of y, if x is 1, the value of y would be 3. Or if we are using it for return, so let me just bring it back to the previous way so that we can understand. So return when, okay, and if we are using for return, and then we can use multiple lines, so we can say print hello, and again the last value here is, the value in the last line will be returned. Okay, so this is associated with this. All right, and again this is associated with this. So that's kind of the main idea behind when statement. You can use it like a switch statement, but you can have more features built in. All right, and again we're going to talk more about when statement when we talk about sealed classes. There's a which can help you a lot with when you deal with algebraic data type. We're going to talk about all those things in the future videos. Okay, so that's it for today, and if you are new to this channel, do subscribe to this channel and like this video, and those can help this channel. As you can see, it's a new channel, so I need your support to grow. And of course any kind of suggestions is appreciated, so you have the comment box for that. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.